Welcome again to Wickerson Studios. My last video was, maybe that was a bit of a dud. The C# Wickerson Studio examples too. Probably forget about that one, even though there's something there in its simplicity. This one I've gone back into the whirly gigs, which everybody seems to enjoy, because you can wrap your head around them pretty good. And I'm going to show what I'm doing here with this C script. It's pretty simple. It's not in this node. This is a different one. I'm using multiple C scripts, small ones, to learn how to write these things. And actually, great notes from Raya Isis, so I'm learning from them. Obviously, I'm learning about the new, what are they called? Starts with a C. uh, constructors to build lists from lists. So basically, this is a nice little system. The first one's actually dealing with tree data, so lists of lists. I think people might find that interesting that I'm actually controlling it from that. Now, the script in here is pretty nice. I'm going to close this one out. Obviously, as I'm going to turn off the turntable, that slows things down. But here's the shape. Here, I mean, how is this made? And then that being said, it's all in parts because I can decide what to do with it. Let's throw a little bit into invisibility and go into here and see what we have. There it is. It's a little interesting background. But basically, I'm running data, and you can see what I'm building is I'm actually generating, constructing trees of numbers. So that's a very cool script. And I'll just show you a little snippet there. Here it is. It's from Raya Isis site as well. I haven't done much to it, except I did do a little bit to it. I actually went in and her sample didn't throw B in here. It added it. It kept it pretty structured and similar. So if you actually look on the site of what Raya Isis did, she didn't have this branch out differently. This would have been 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. What I did was do a little multiplier through there. And that's allowing me to play a little bit. And then obviously if I take that down, it gets lower. But if it starts to explode up when I do this, you'll see the numbers get bigger. So that's kind of just the count of the number in there. This one's what gets interesting because you get multiple numbers. And then you've got some real control of understanding that. You can see how it wants to crash out if I move too fast on that because you've got 4, maybe I bounced up to 6 or 8 there. It's just thinking about it right now. It's a little upset with me because it's running multiple C scripts as it processes this. So let's just leave that one at 2. And then the branch count. So you have 3 there, you have 4 there, you have 5 there, and that's how you play with your branches. So you're actually getting into understanding lists of numbers to generate a geometry. So that was the first script that I used, and that one comes out of where did I put it? I probably have to extend this because I've got so many plugins. I'm probably going to have to get rid of some plugins. That's actually on the constructing data access and saying, okay, let's create, those are whole numbers. Let me think what I was doing. This is why I'm not going to send this out to anybody because it's not going to do anybody any good. I think it's a list of numbers, but then again, maybe I was generating constructors, steel, custom types, processing one number at a time. It probably was this one, processing the whole list. Oh, I can't even remember where it was. Well, maybe this still works. It does. There we go. It's in my C script. It's in the maths. Oh, it's just saying it's a C node. It doesn't help locate my node, so that's not going to be of any help to anybody. So I had tree information in there. I'll have to just find out what it was. It's construct tree of numbers. It's somewhere in here. It was number based, so I don't see it there. I'm sorry, this is a slowdown, but I'm getting used to my own kind of plugin as I've created. It's not really a plugin either. It's just a way to generate some things. Maybe it was in my Rhino geometry, and construct tree of numbers was probably where it was. It's not in there. It's not in classes. It's not in breps, surfaces, points. Oh well, I can't remember where I found it. But anyhow, I do have tucked in there construct tree of numbers, and actually the more I think about it, the more I think it might be back in here. And how did I get to that data access? Iterations, custom types, create sphere, construct data. There it is, constructing data. That's what makes sense. Put it under constructing data because that's what I'm doing, building data. So sorry, I'm learning, made my own labyrinth that I can't even traverse and find my way through. Anyway, sorry for that slowdown, but this is why, when I build this way from multiple C nodes, I can then start writing these into, hopefully go into math and start my own C script that will compile this whole thing. And that's the goal, is to get better at knowing the scripts are there for the main bulk of it, taking the data out, run it into the next script, which is this one, which is called script, what did I call this one? Whoop. Let me close it out for a second. This one is construct tree of numbers. Okay, this one is structure. So it's a structure, so it's a struct, but it's point passed by value, which is the same as any point item. It's basically just grabbing numbers and it's grabbing a tree this time and generating points. And that's what gets kind of interesting because there's your points. Not too exciting. Those are the points that drive it. Let's leave it on so we can see the whole form. You're not going to be able to see those blue lines, though, even if I click on it. What I then did was grab that, found a list length of that item, through a range, and I plugged it into one node right here and played with it. And even though it comes out as a transform, scale, rotate, and move, that's in all my transformations in Rhino down here at the end. It's one node. I only have 3 transformation nodes, and I doubt I'll even use the. I have to customize the shear matrix every time I do it because I don't just want to shear. I want to do a bunch of things and learn about what the matrices are within that. But what I'm doing is just grabbing the transform, scale, rotate, move, which does it all. So I don't have to do all that stuff again. I can just come in here, click it open, and boom, I got everything. And what I did here was I decided I'll put in center as opposed to what was there in my original. So you see this differs. This script changes because I can just go up here, grab the transform, and say, okay, let's grab that node, bring it in. Now, what does that one look like? Well, that one has an automated set to 3-point origin. It grabs a 3-point origin. Well, I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to play around with it. Maybe I did want to do it. I can't even remember. But I did want to customize that node. So you got a base node right here in script that you can come down here and start scripting directly in to play with it. And I don't know if I changed anything else in there. I don't think I did. But definitely, then I started plugging in my old techniques of ranges through domains and list length numbers to get this stuff to do the jumping and jazzing. And of course, there's always the thrown in little flattens and graphs to make this work because you have to flatten to make a surface work. So basically, you can move from these point systems, and this is kind of nice to watch. So you've gone through, you've generated your points, which are here. You've brought that through, you've thrown it through this rotation. That's pretty simple. You made a surface from those points. And then I threw that through a rotation because what's great about this transformation, it doesn't care. It just wants objects. So you can grab points for this one and do the good old whippoorwill. And this one, you can grab the surfaces. And what I thought was, hey, I kind of like what's happening here. And I don't have a lot of recursion through without scripting in C again. So I didn't mind throwing in a couple of these because I was happy enough with that end structure. If I was to continue that, I have to learn to write these back into the same scripts. What's nice is you literally can cut and paste until you start to see this same repetitive pattern happening of nodes as to what you're repetitively writing within the C script. And of course, a good programmer in C and Python is going to say, Mike, you're working like an idiot. And well, I started out as an idiot. I think I knew everything before I was born, but after I was born, I forgot it all. So now it's just a matter of being that idiot and enjoying it. So that's it. I've grabbed that, and what's nice, you can go right back into the initial. You've got a lot of control over the numbers to play with, to stretching and poking and pushing that. You've still got your range that you can throw it through a full 2 pi. Like, look at that jazz. That's going through pi domain. Like, that's just nuts. That's just like, that's stuff that would make Daniel Christophe so proud of me, and he'd run another marathon for sure because he'd get excited. But look at that. Like, I didn't even know this script and algorithm was going to start to do these things. Now, this is stuff you can take care of and do within. But oh my gosh, that's worth grabbing an animation. That's worth just getting in here and saying, okay, give me 120 frames of that and throw that on my desktop because I might make a GIF and throw that into something for people to watch. But I love it. Like, for that to be C programming, starting to run this and curl this up and do this jazz. Yes, I'm getting somewhere and I'm figuring it out. Really nice forms. See, it kind of slows down as I turn, but man, am I actually getting in there and doing some stuff with a few C nodes. The power of this is for anybody who really wants to get into this. And I think this video is one of my best videos yet. It's still rolling through because it's doing the count to 120. What a little animation GIF that I've grabbed. I'm not sure if I'm rolling around here doing the GIF, but they are being produced as BMP files, and I've got to convert them over the PNG or something like that to make that work. But otherwise, I like that one. I'm going to hold it back at where I was, but I was very happy to see what that thing became and had control over that. Really, the spikiness and everything that's going on, and then I can also control where I start and how I flip that. So really exciting stuff. I never would have known, but then again, I think there's a magic in the pie, and of course, Jose Luis would say, "Oh, what's the thing he talks about? 2 pi being something." Oh, I should remember it, but I'm not part of that organization. But I'm liking this thing. So without even a surface edit and extrusion, which I've got tucked up in here, I could take these what are they? They're untrimmed surfaces, so I could then start running these through some of my old snippet tools of extrude and have these kind of rolling out into these really nice along normals and make these solids so I can bring them back in. Now that's going to bring in a whole script, and that just gets crazy. And that would take all those surfaces and then start outputting them. But I don't want to slow my program down and worry about the lofts. So it gets a little funky in the end. But really nice. I'm just going to take that one to disable. I'll leave this in here for people to play with if they want. But that's my form. What I made. It's pretty exciting. It's running off of 3 similar C scripts along with a point script. I did a little bit of funkiness and change in here. And this, I believe, is what it's all about. And the better I get at this, and the more I can draw visually, because I do like to work intuitively and visually with Grasshopper, I am a sucker for that. I'm gonna pop that one out. I love it too much, and I didn't know I was gonna make it, but there it is. We'll leave it here. We'll leave off everything. We'll grab that, and we'll see how that looks under my, standard. I know I'm not that snazzy. I mean, I keep things kind of simple, but I kind of like that as a form. It's a strange little sheet metal project, and I'm not much for formal sculpture anymore in my life. I think sculpture definitely is moving for me into the 4 dimensions all the time. People are working more digitally and analog wise. The future seems to be this, and to me, working with the computer as an artist is similar to people working in robotics and working with cobots as opposed to robots. And you simply have to take this on as an extension of yourself. We will find beauty within it. We will find the sublime within it. It's just going to take some time. Anyhow, all to definitely where this year has gone, and let's enter next year and see where it's going. 12-minute video. Thanks for watching.